Welcome to Resilience Plus Rise, the podcast where resilience is not just a concept, but it's a lived experience. I'm your host, Thomas Scaria, a resilience coach, an ultra marathoner, and a relentless believer in the human's spirit's ability to rise. This podcast is a companion to my book, Resilience Plus Rise 26.2 Transformative Miles to Unleash Your Marathon of Life Mindset. Each episode is a raw, unfiltered dive into the stories of those who have faced life's hardest battles and emerged stronger. Today, it's a privilege, it's an honor. Let me put in another word, it's also a blessing. The guest who I have, Mr. Shrenik Sheikh. I repeat, his name is Shrenik, Shah. Due apologies on that. He has seen what life has been, and his ability to rise is amazing. Yes, he uses his voice, but more than that, he raises consciousness. He says he uses his hands of hope, born from necessity, refined through experience, powered by purpose. Why am I saying all these things? Does it make any sense to you? It will make when we talk to Shrenik Shah, despite a permanent speaking disability by a late stage vocal cord cancer, just around 20, a little more than 20 years back, around 20 years back. He has built more than a life, a legacy. As I mentioned, forget about being a global speaker and a leadership coach and a patient advocate. Again, as I said, he has helped to raise consciousness of one and many. With this, Shrenik Shah, welcome to Resilience Plus Rise, the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Believe me, you made my day. I mean, say, I would rather consider this simply as a God's grace. And believe me, when wherever I'm speaking, whether it is static or strong, institute, wherever I consider each and every appearance on this stage or offline or online, I consider this absolutely as a God's grace. I mean, I, this is something, you know, I'm not doing myself, but I am rather being guided. I am rather being guided to do something. And Thomas, I just want to give one simple example that I am not a qualified engineer. Yes, I am not qualified engineer. I am simply a science graduate. I have done my chemistry back in 1972, and you know the organic chemistry. Organic chemistry was my most favorite subject. And when it comes to organic chemistry, it is all about single bond, double bond, triple bond, naphthalene, benzene, ring, etc. So, I rather uh, with bonding love to create bonding with the people all around the world, because bonding is the first step. Bonding is the first step towards humanity. speaking about humanity on a social media, on a platform, etc., is a different thing. But when you start building the bonding, you know, it creates it rather demonstrate the real humanity to the core. And now coming to the engineering, as I said, I am not qualified engineer, but yes, I have learned to build the bridge between my head, heart, and gut, and this engineering of building bridges between head, heart, and gut made me happier in front of you today, Thomas. So thank you so very much for such a wonderful, incredible, and exceptional and remarkable training opportunity. Thank you so very much.
So, guys, fantastic. For a moment, always believed education in schools or university, a lot of times it is maybe a little more than a paper, but it's education in life which creates a different set of mindset. So yeah, we may learn or sometimes we may not learn, but then it's the unlearning in life. As Cernik just mentioned, he has been a chemical chemistry student, but he has understood the value of bonds in a different way. He has not been an engineer, but he has known how to create a bridge within himself, and not only within himself, but having that bridge from his soul reaching out to many people. So when I talk about reaching out many people, this is a fantastic side note I would like to say. He has got more than 9,000 plus hours of global speaking, more than 1,000 shows, 30,000 plus counseling sessions, 5 times TEDx stages, various wellness summits and international participated in podcasts like me. I'm honored. But more than that, get this clear, is that he has touched more than 100,000 lives to show what resilience is all about. He has shown, despite the challenge, he has changed it into an opportunity to give hope to thousands and thousands of humans. So, Serenik, with this, I come to my question is that you are living your life, and one fine day, suddenly something did not go right. If you could take us through that journey, what happened of when you realized that you were going to lose your voice? And what was the pivot that mentioned that, you know what, I can exist through my life the way life has thrown me this curveball, or I can live my life on my terms? What's the story?
Short Thomas. Say, if I'm talking a bit about my education background, and before I was diagnosed with this stage 4 workout cancer within me, I was 100% introvert within me. I had no courage to stand up in the class to answer questions. Yet despite I was knowing the answers, that was the my ability, or rather I would say disability, which was completely introvert. I had only five friends, and that's it. This was, during the late 80s, etc. But then, in, from 1986 till 1996, 11 years, I jumped into international marketing, and I traveled globally more than more than 200 overseas trips, and I had the privilege and opportunity of dealing with the people across diverse cultures, whether it is US, South America, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and everywhere. So whatever it is, I learned so much, while dealing with those people. I mean, usually top bosses, and then, and as I said, in marketing, and one very simple formula in marketing is, unless you don't know how to set a product, you cannot do anything. And that experience, that, that experience of 11 years and dealing with those, I mean, countless individuals all over the world, that experiences, that exposure made me something different after my, lot of nature voice. That was in 1997. So till first half of 1997, I had a natural voice. I mean, I was speaking naturally like everyone else, but then my voice started losing from natural to hoarseness and to whispering. Thomas, I had no habit of smoking, never consumed tobacco. I'm strict vegetarian, non-alcoholic. So, you know, I mean, getting diagnosed or something is going wrong within my throat was absolutely out of question. But then, you know, the tumor started expanding. I never realized. And then one morning, I started bleeding. I met my physician. He said something is very serious. I wanted to go to the cancer surgeon right away. And me and my wife, we went there, and doctor examined and cancer surgeon examined me. And one more point I would like to add here, Thomas. I mean, for your audience, that during that phase of July and August 1997, I had a severe, in- incredibly breathing problem. It was every day I was feeling like I was drowning in water, or rather, I am at the bottom of the swimming pool and I cannot breathe. And that was, believe me, that was completely catastrophic situation. But as I said, I was not suspecting that something is going wrong. And cancer surgeon examined me, and he said that Shrenik, I'm very sorry to tell you, but you are into last stage of vocal cord cancer, and don't have much time left with you unless you undergo the vocal cord surgery, and you won't be able to speak for all your life. Now, Thomas, what was the catch? Despite being businessman, marketer, everything, you know, I am, and as I said during my business time, I was known as a troubleshooter. Like, I don't rely analyze like why this has happened. I rather look at the solution instead of analyzing the troubles. And so me and my wife asked only one simple question to the doctor: when do you want me to get admitted? That's it. I did not ask anything, never opt for any second opinion, never ask any question. What are you going to do? What are you not going to do? Nothing to, no question at all. And we left. The next day, I got admitted in those place. Unlike today, the surgeries were done in two parts. In first part, biopsy was done, and then we had to wait. So this liquid biopsy was not visible, or rather not happening. So report came after 4 5 days, and well, doctor was rather shocked, but he was damn sure when he examined me for the first time and he said, "You are into stage 4 and
Hmm.
I don't have any choice, and you will have to undergo the complete laryngectomy, that is total vocal cord surgery from left to right, and it took around nine and a half hours of surgery, and now see, Thomas, that was a very simple solution. I have I I have rather concluded at that time without thinking twice. I believe I took decision in less than 10 seconds for simple reason. If you are not going to survive, whether you have good code or whether you don't have a good code, it hardly matters. So I chose the roadmap of a survival as against the loss of Google code. And since September 1997, I'm living like this. This is my 29th year without, nature voice. One more thing I would like to add here, Thomas, probably this will rather surprise not you, but whoever is going to listen to today's recording. That is, and initially you talked about mindset. You talked about mindset. So I'm going to talk about mindset a bit. There is one single phrase in psychology, SDML, that is short term memory loss. This is being used, when somebody is having uh, the that kind of disorder. Now, Thomas, as a businessman, as a troubleshooter, and fortunately, being a creator or innovator, I rephrased that STML. I have rephrased it into LTSML. That is long term specific memory lost. Long term specific memory, meaning I have never realized, I have never remembered that I have lost my voice because this bionic voice is my distinct identity, USB. And you know what, Thomas, when you are talking to someone, you will have to tell someone that, hello, I am Thomas. In my case, I did not have to tell, hello, I am Shrenik Shah, because once you listen to me, you will know who is on the other
Other
side.
side. That's a beautiful mindset and attitude, and I think so that makes a total difference. Wow, 30 years. Yeah, please.
Let me continue. Then, I would love to answer all your questions now. So, and then after surgery, I underwent 30 rounds of radiotherapy and the skin turned black. But, then slowly, gradually, it went to normal. Now, the 3 months, that is from September 1997 till December, 3 months, that was modified situation because you that is a fire from within. You want to speak, but the words are not coming out. Everything is just disappearing in there, and that was causing, believe me, so much of frustration. I mean, you can't imagine. I mean, you feel like you are going to hit your head against the wall, and the agony was, you have to use pen and paper. You have to communicate via pen and paper. Somebody will read. They will talk to you. When you have to answer, you will have to write again. And Thomas, who has time in this world to read, and then again uh, conversation. So that was quite frustrating situation. And one more point, uh, during that phase, my cancer surgeon he advised that you will have to use electrolytics to speak. Now in those days, Thomas, there was no trainer available. There
Mm-hmm.
was no trainer available to teach you to train you how to speak with this device. So I learned myself standing in front of mirror for a week and keep on practicing and finding a sweet spot under my chin from where I would be speaking and I should be or rather I could be completely or rather easily audible. So that was the phase of 1 week and I learned and this learning Thomas was situational because being into marketing I knew that if I have to survive I will have to speak and I cannot give it up. So that was the first lesson I learned like getting how to speak using this electronics. Now one of the I would say one of the biggest challenge of my life when I started speaking in public. That was in December 1997. Thomas, my voice was rejected. Yes, people were scared. They were not. They were. It was. I mean, it was for them. It was quite unbelievable. Like they were feeling like a robot is speaking or alien is on the planet on the
Mm-hmm.
earth and speaking, and people were. Believe me, Thomas. People were running away. But you know what, Thomas? That experience, those rejections from the public, from the people, from the individuals. I believe me, I will by joining the ones I express my deepest gratitude because those rejections made me to get up from the ashes and I have continued speaking despite all rejections and that's how I am in front of you. I'm rather I'm playing multiple roles like patient ambassador, advocate, mentor, counselor, TEDx speaker, social speaker, too many international conferences, I'm hosting live webinars, etc.
Wow.
So you know what, Thomas, it is all about your approach. It's all about your approach, like how you can transform that remarkable rejection into opportunities, and these are all God's grace. Once again, I'm telling you, these are all God's grace. I am not doing anything myself. I am being guided to do things whatever I have been guided, and that's how I mean, fortunately, I am playing multiple roles with this device, with this voice, and this has given me, I mean, I would say, incredible opportunities and too many recognition, accomplishment. But here again, I mean, this is not something I have done. It's all on what is grace.
Fantastic. So, guys, over here, this is an absolute class on resilience. We have just heard Shrenik saying that when there was a choice, if he could go ahead with the surgery without a blink of the eye, he said, let's do it. Not looking at the facts that, okay, why it happened, what were the consequences. I mean, he was not a smoker, he was a vegetarian, he's to keep a very healthy lifestyle. And most of us, as humans, we tend to think otherwise. Why is it happening to me? But I believe he just changed it as that, what am I learning in this? He went ahead. He went ahead with the tools wherein training was not available at that time, but it was just his insistence that he has to grow from where he is. He has been pushed to the ground, but he is ready to get up, dust up, and start all over again. Changing it from the short term memory, he made it as a long term memory. That yes, he's got a voice. So what's going to stop him? He went ahead. He went to the stage. That stopped him, not from by his own self, but by the people around. But did that stop him? No. And today he is an inspiration. He's a beacon of light to so many people that wants to see what else is possible. With this, I come to my next question, Sarnik, is that there are people who have faced different challenges in different ways. Okay, for you, yes, it is a loss of the voice. It could be sometime other people, maybe a loss of a job, loss of their business. Sometimes it could be as adverse as loss of somebody who's close to us. Or people, just as I always say, is that when you change your life from life is for existing to life is for living, you change the entire attitude. With this, Cernic, if you were supposed to say 3 to 5 things for a person who is feeling not very motivated about taking the next steps because of some challenges in their life, because they feel that they are not getting the push through, because they feel that life has not been fair to them. That's what a lot of people of us say, that, oh, life is not fair to me. What would you tell to those individuals? Just 3 or 4 things that comes to your mind.
Sure, Thomas. You know, let me answer the last part first, and then rest of the initial questions in the next step. Thomas, getting birth as a human, getting birth as a human on this planet or on this universe, that itself is the incredible gift from Almighty, number one. And in continuation to that, when when you're born on this universe, when you're born on this planet, have you ever asked the Almighty that why did you give a birth to me? No, right? You have not asked that question to the Almighty, that why you sent me on this universe, on this planet. If you cannot, if you are not going to ask that question to the Almighty, whatever problems, whatever challenges coming across, these are bound to come. And say like let's you me we all are using mobile phones, and every second, every minute, every hour we are getting notification that okay, this. But when the challenges are coming, when adversities are coming, you are not going to receive one single notification.
I
let's
love that.
accept Let us accept the fact. So that is one thing. Now, when you are not going to tell to the Almighty that why I have been sent on this planet, on this earth, you have no right to ask a single question to yourself or to Almighty, why me, when adversities or challenges are coming across. On the contrary, you know, believe me, when adversities are coming, when challenges are coming, I would rather consider this as a university of experience. And this channel, what you learn from challenges, what you learn from adversities, no university, no top university in the world can teach you
Hmm.
to how to overcome. or how to get out of this. So let's forget about why me. And one more point I would like to add here: Thomas, you know, at too many places. I mean, in offices, Israel's we are saying works, complaint box, a wooden complaint box,
Mm-hmm.
where you can lodge the complaint, and then it is being heard, etc. My my approach is very simple. Remove complaint box from your life. No more complaints, because whatever it is, the moment you start complaining, you are complaining yourself, you are wasting your time, you are analyzing why this has happened. I mean, this would have not been done, and don't forget, when you are complaining to somebody, you are making somebody feeling guilt, right?
Hmm.
And when you start making somebody feel guilt, the bonding, the relation, whatever the format it is, that is getting diluted.
True.
People will start having a prejudice against you. And here again, whatever is happened. You cannot undo it. You cannot undo it. But important is, forget about complaining and do your best, like how best you can support someone in a most remarkable manner. So once you know this, things can happen incredibly. You become unstoppable. You become unacceptable. You become from ordinary to extraordinary, or I would say from ordinary to extraordinary to super extraordinary, and that's how life is all about. And you never know what is going to happen tomorrow. So live it in the moment and do your best. And one last point, everything, you know, we have. I mean, in our schools, we have been taught alphabet like A for apple, B for baby. Now let's change the format. A for acceptance, B for bold, C for courage, D for dedication, and
Wow.
A for empathy. Once you learn this and once you implement this, you will be on top of the world. So first and foremost thing is acceptance. Once you start accepting the things, there are not one, there are 100 ways. There are 100 ways in front of you where you can keep on adding relentless momentum, because
Hmm.
you are not wasting time. You are not wasting your time in analyzing the problem. Try to troubleshoot and move on.
Wow, that was amazing. So let me try to remember it is A for acceptance, B for bold, C for courage, D for dedication. I would put it as discipline also, and E for empathy. A, B, C, D, E. New way of looking at it. Fantastic. Love that. Love that. It is so simple. But for people at times when they move from their own self and look around, I think so life becomes much more better for them to handle situation. But when that ego is there, that's when the problem does occur. But here we are not talking about ego, we are talking about breaking through the boundaries. Wow, that was fantastic, Shrenik. Now, you have been busy with a lot of talks, inspiring people, etc. Are there any new projects that have been that's you're close to your heart that you'll be doing this year?
Not one, but two.
Okay,
Uh, One is my documentary film is coming up.
okay, fantastic. And when is that going to come up?
I will definitely during this year itself.
Okay,
And
fantastic. All the best.
thank you so much. And number two, uh, like you now, when yes, I'm doing a lot of live webinars, etc. And now I'm going to start one-on-one offline podcast where I would be recording. I would be inviting individuals, cancer specialists, and people across India, and maybe later on from people abroad, to the studio. And I will be recording one-on-one 1 hour podcast, and then I will be, and the title of my podcast is Build Your Legacy. Build Your Legacy with Shrenik.
Beautiful. Of course, end of the day, as one of the persons, amazing person had mentioned, is that end of the day, what do we leave from life? Nothing but our legacy. People may not remember your name, but they will always remember your legacy. And fantastic. I wish you all the best for both of them, Sir Nick. It's such a thing. Uh, just be mindful of the time. Is there any last thoughts, any things that come to your mind that you would like to tell the listeners?
Um, Thomas, I don't know about others, but I have not kept any kind of discrimination with anybody. I am having a conversation with whether it is age, whether it is a gender, whether it is he or she has money, he or she is at a high position, low position, or whatever. I don't believe in keeping any any type of discrimination. I accept and invite people across the diverse culture without any hesitation. And say, I mean, as I said, it is your choice. It is your choice whether you want to remain in your shell, or you want to become a people's person. And when you want to become people's person, you cannot have discrimination, and and be grateful, be grateful for every single favor you have received, whether it is small, big, or large, or it's large, or whatever. Consider each and every smallest favor as an incredible favor. And believe me, when you are doing it, when you are grateful, when you express gratitude, you know that gratitude is credited up there, because that gratitude is not going to that individual, he or she. That gratitude goes up there, and I consider this gratitude as a prayer to the Almighty. You don't need to go to temple or mosque or church anywhere. Be simply be grateful, and believe me, you will be rewarded with these so many opportunities that you could be million times grateful to the countless individuals all over the world.
Fantastic. And guys, I can totally watch for it. Today, a little earlier, was my first conversation with Sir Nick. It was, we had just had a talk saying that, okay, where this is going to lead to. But it turned out to be so fascinating. I had no choice but to open directly as a podcast and say that, okay, let's have a conversation rather than waiting for another time. As he has mentioned time and again, being thankful for the now. Now it is what matters. It's not about the short term memory or the long term. It is basically now what we can make the changes onto. We have got the choice. We have got a choice of being thankful, being in acceptance, being bold, being courageous, being dedicated or disciplined, and having empathy to get to the next level. And this is a walking, talking example of what resilience is all about. Cernic has shown what is possible in raising your voice without even having one. Shrenik, thank you so very much for your space and time.
Thomas, uh, I just want to add one single
Please.
note. You know, this world, you know, this world is full of competition, and it is going at a jet speed. My simple suggestion is, people used to mention that I am so and so, I am so and so, and I am not easily available.
Hmm.
I would like to change. I would like to change this approach. And yes, I am easily available for simple reason. Forget about who you are. Remember, you are human first, and then your position as whoever you are. You could be a junior, researcher, academician, whoever, because you never know that what is it going to be tomorrow morning.
Of course, beautiful.
Tomorrow morning. So let's change that approach that I am not easily available because it is your destiny and you don't know what is it destined for tomorrow morning. So change that approach.
That's so wonderful. So, guys, why wait for tomorrow? If there is somebody asks you something, or if there is something to be done, today is the time. Now is the time. Do it. Shrenik Shah, it's totally an honor, privilege, and a pleasure having this conversation with you. Thank you again. Thank you.
My pleasure, Thomas. It was lovely. I mean, being with you. And as I said, when opportunities are coming across, you should not close the door. I mean, rather, you should
Accepted. Accepted. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.